I think that's probably the biggest thing for me is how we're moving forward and as we continue to evolve, but we don't ever want to stand still. Hey there, I'm Mike Stojic,
I'm Malia Christie.
and this is our bar, Revival 1869.
Yep, cocktails,
Whiskey,
music,
art,
jazz,
eclectic furniture.
and the best personalities in town.
That's right. And we make our own syrups.
Yeah,
It's all very, very original stuff.
yep.
The origin goes way back to when I was still in the Marine Corps. It was a dream that I had sitting in Iraq. Something. We sit around and talk like, what do you want to do when we finally move on and we leave this thing? And when I was like, well, I used to bartend in college and I used to love the experience that we could give the people as bartenders or servers or whatever. Then I thought, let's do that.
We picked Clayton because of the rich history that Clayton has, having a historic downtown. You can't really go many places and find those anymore, and you certainly can't build one. So the name Revival sprung from that, and the definition is taking something old and making it fresh and new again, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. We wanted to do things the old way, but in a new, kind of vibrant way. And then 1869 is the year that Clayton became incorporated as a town, and so it just fit together perfectly. We wanted to pay homage to that.
The number one thing was always create an experience. It wasn't just about the one thing or the whiskey or the music or the cocktails. It was like this overarching picture to create this amazing experience for people, because we just like having that ability to create that environment. From the very beginning, the whole part of the concept of Revival was a big social endeavor, and there's a reason there are no televisions here. We don't want you bringing your date or your friends or whoever and then having this big, ugly, glowing box above your head distracting you at all times. This was supposed to be a very social endeavor, right? The idea was if you show up with 3 of your friends and there's 4 of you, you're sitting in this large area. Well, this area holds 8 or 9 people. So you're sitting here, and then other people join you, and now you start talking. I mean, it's almost impossible not to have conversations and meet new people and be social and really be human again.
There's so many RE words, that come with Revival. Rejuvenation of things that have been lost or lost over time. Rejuvenate, art, not have to go to the museum all the time to see beautiful art, that it's among us, amongst people that we know in our community. Also, just kind of reinvigorating people to get to know each other. There are so many opportunities to connect on a personal level with people. That was huge for us.
Time when we really truly saw how well the community supported us because of how well we supported them was during the shutdowns of 2020. I mean, Revival was closed for 8 to 9 months, and we did pretty much everything with our capabilities in order to stay above water. We created a little store, and the town came out huge to support that. So, here we are trying to sell our Glencairn glasses, and they were buying bulks, to help support us. And I'm like, man, you wouldn't just do that if we were just some any old bar. So
when we had to shut down, we were about to have our 3rd year anniversary, celebrate 3 years of being open. And I'm talking right when we had to shut down. So it was absolutely heartbreaking for us to not be able to do what we do. We couldn't serve drinks. We couldn't serve the public. We couldn't have music. We couldn't have art. And so we were really stuck. And so that buzzword, all in 2020 is about pivot. We pivoted, and our guests too, our customer base, they pivoted. They couldn't come here, and so they embraced the other projects we were doing, and we were excited to learn in that pivot how excited and eager people were to learn to do what we do. And they embraced that big time, and it was something that even coming out of this, we know that we can't stop doing that because people just want more of it. and it's so cool.
What we've learned from 2020 is we've been rushing, and all of a sudden we hit the brakes, and it was a very bad time. Well, now that we're coming out of it, we're seeing that people want to slow down, and they want to have time and moments with friends and family, and actually have more togetherness. And we've noticed that, especially now that we're opening up more, people are slowing down. They're not drinking as fast. They're ordering bourbons and whiskeys and cocktails that they can sip on over time and enjoy the conversation, and cigars actually facilitate some of that. So the cigar bourbon pairing is going to be a big thing that Revival will move into, and I think that's part of the togetherness, because we're slowing down, we're enjoying the different spirits, we're enjoying our time together, and now with really nice cigars you're going to enjoy that too, and that's something that I think is going to be really interesting and a fun concept that we're going to have out on the patio. And plus, I think we're looking into creating a second location, and I think that's pretty neat too. Where and when, I don't know. We're too busy. We're still too early on in planning, but there will be a second Revival coming. So we are building towards the future. Like we said, we did a huge shift with who we are by creating a retail brand with our cocktail syrups and our store. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, is how we're moving forward. And as we continue to evolve, we don't ever want to stand still.
In contrast to what Mike was saying about the future, just the biggest takeaway I've had from, over the years we've been open, but especially over this past year, is just seeing, appreciating, and trying to pay forward just the depth, in our community. It's really prompted all of us to think and do things differently. And I think that's amazing. The whole overwhelming thing that just really makes you stop and think about how important the people are during that shutdown, just to be able to slow down and to really just become personally a part of the community. That probably means the most to me. And so just the really personal aspect of everything is probably brought me to tears more times than I'd like to admit over the last year.